Abeku, my wife says to tell you that she's also listening. So in the roll call list, Vanika Ho. External producer, or Hinegiri Gifty Auntie. Youngest audience, pilot Enyonyam Sinti Misa. She says she wants to be a pilot to fly planes. So she's called pilot now. Well, folks, we start the way we start. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say this again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Now, hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. Now, we thank God for another wonderful Monday. In fact, some of us, Monday, 7 p.m. is just a bliss. It only happens here on Joy 99.7 FM. And it's radio for you, the discerning listener, because I keep telling you that some of the topics we treat here, should they have been in any other show, you know something, there'll be war. But because you are discerning, we are able to treat really sensitive subjects that matter to us, and we deliberate it peacefully. And to that, I am entirely grateful. Folks, I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV of the Little Republic of Akwamu Edumasa, and your favorite radio talk show host. And let me welcome you to the show that I call That's My Opinion. Now, since it's Ghana month, and we are all in the Ghana mood, whatever that is, let's talk Ghana. Folks, our topic today, the lost generation of Ghana. The lost generation of Ghana. Folks, I believe that one day they will say, we were warned. We were warned about this on That's My Opinion. Yes. They may say that loudmouth chief from that village, we don't know, friend republic, he warned us about the happenings of our time. Indeed, we have raised some serious issue here. I mean, nation-changing topics. You and I, and of course for you, my listeners, I duff my heart and get up for you. We have raised nation-changing topics here. Folks, this issue has been raised quite a number of times on the show. Sometimes I've said it, sometimes people will call and lament that the more letters we have to our name, the more exposed we are, or supposed to be, the more ignorant we become of ourselves. And I dare say the more strange we become, or should I say, the more educated and exposed we are, we become foreigners in our own land. Folks, we educate ourselves and expose ourselves, out of our own land. And we become strangers in our own land. Again, I have said that Western solutions borrowed to mitigate African problems only comes to make the problem worse. Tweet it. I repeat it. Western solutions borrowed to mitigate African problems only comes to make the problem worse. Folks, in the past, many centuries before conventional schooling, children growing up in an area, society, town, village were deliberately taught the history of the place, the culture of the land, the traditions of its people, and the main trade in the area. Children in, let's say, Winneba, by the sea, from age 3, will be introduced to the sea. From age 3, very young age, they will be introduced to the sea. They will be taught to stitch up a net or pull a net or do something which their parents are doing in the sea. The mothers that are fishmongers and are smoking the fish, the little girls in the area will be asked to do something, little chore to do with what it is that mother is doing. Children in plantation areas will start going to the farm from 4 weeks old. 4 weeks, some even earlier. You go to the farm, you be wrapped in a cloth and put under a shade. By age 5, they would have put their little seedlings in the ground. They'll watch it grow, harvest a couple of corns or a couple of cocoyam, and they'll be excited that this was fruit of their labor. They would enjoy it. So by the time they grow, they're already into whatever it is that the trade is in the area. Folks, and the story was the same all round. Towns that were at war most of the time will train the young ones to be warriors. Those that rode on horseback did the same, taught their young ones how to ride. So without any formal schooling and without any degrees and letters, they knew not to leave their wards to chance. Just sit and hope that they will grow and do right by themselves. No! There was always that deliberate plan to channel them towards the advantages and opportunities in the area in which they live. And they had not been into any classroom. They had no PhDs and MPhils and this degrees and that degrees, double masters, triple masters. They had none. But they knew. You can't just leave them and sit and pray that when they grow, they will know what is right. Folks, very often we hear that Ghanaians don't like the truth. Ghanaians are hypocrites. But have we even bothered to ask who a Ghanaian is? And once we find out who that Ghanaian is, how do we want to find out what that Ghanaian knows? Let us find out what that Ghanaian knows to even decipher what's the truth and what is not the truth. We are swimming and dabbling in ignorance as if there's no tomorrow. Now, folks, once upon a time, it was the Ghanaian hospitality, the great Akwaba. And over time, folks, it has now become the great walkover. I am a Ghanaian and I welcome a foreigner with open arms to come and just pollute my waters, destroy my inheritance because I welcome you. And sometimes some of the foreigners, I have not created a human being before, but just say, they can come and rip the whole nation off. We hear some little Chinese woman, Aisha Wan, came and just made mincemeat of the whole nation and just left. Why? Because we have a welcoming culture. I don't want to go too much into that. Folks, the lost generation of Ghana, the lost generation, if they are fortunate to be switched on in their lifetime, if they are fortunate to be able to read a little bit wider, they will curse us in our graves. They will read our history and will sit down as ghosts or spirits and listen to the history and wonder, are they talking about us? The people who grew oranges but constantly drank orange juice from Florida. Meanwhile, the oranges were planted right here. Grew all the mangoes in Somenya but still went on to buy, carton mango juices. That will be our story, folks. People who mined all the gold and sat down and lived in poverty. They will sit in classrooms and talk about us. And if you're able to be a ghost to go and sit in the classroom and listen to the history that they are teaching, oh my God, you would want to die again. A people who had so much water but destroyed everything, every single water. We polluted every single water. 1001. Apart from the Volta Lake, I don't think anyone has been spared. And that will be us, folks. That will be posterity telling the history of what we did. Country, our forefathers used to fly first class and go and beg for money from people who sat in third class. Our forefathers drove in V8s to the airport, fly first class, went to countries where the ministers were in taxis to borrow money to come and buy more V8. And that will be, folks, telling our history. That will be us. The lost generation of Ghana, folks. The lost generation. If they are fortunate to be switched on in their lifetime, they will curse us in the graves. But you know something? The way things are going, they may not even be aware of their plight. With the level of ignorance at the moment, folks, maybe in 100, 200 years' time from today, they may not even realize their plight. And those who dare to point it out to them will be crucified. And indeed, folks, with no originality, they will never be called to the table of nations. Folks, I said, with no originality, they will never be called to the table of nations, other than to come and beg for alms or beg for aid, beg for charity. Anytime you see them on the table, it's because they found some natural resources, but there's no brain to transfer the resource into anything. So they've come to sit at the table to find out who's going to bid something for that natural resource. Or they've come because there's a disaster. There's corona, and we don't have any vaccine. We don't have any help. So please, give us some vaccines so we go and jab. We can't do anything on ourselves. Folks, I said, with no originality, you shall never be called to the table of nations. Folks, once upon a time, you could make a phone call from Kokrantumi to Accra. You could post a letter from Impriaso to Cape Coast. You could board a train from Accra and alight at Takwa. You could ship your goods from Europe. The shipping line will be a Ghanaian-owned Black Star line, piloted by Captain John Jones, who's also Ghanaian. You could fly to Heathrow in a Ghanaian-owned aircraft, the Ghana Airways. And no airplane in this world could touch down softly than Ghana Airways. Believe you me, if you've flown before, you sit in Ghana Airways and it touches down, and all you know is that the people in the plane are clapping. And then you realize that, hey, say I landed. I tell you what, the Ghana Airways pilots, I think that's all they went to learn, landing. They may not take off on time, they'll delay you, but landing, oh my God, you will clap for them. And that was, planes will be piloted by Francis Kujau, Ghanaian. Oh yes. And it's only 2021, and I'm talking about Ghana Airways as though it is history. And we are in 2021, and I'm telling people that you could actually go to the airport and sit in a Ghana aircraft piloted by Ghanaians. Francis Kujau, do Terminal 3. A plane land. You may now unfasten your seatbelts. We are in 2021. Folks, New Plan was assembled in Ghana. Akasanuma, Sanyo, the Bois4 cars were in Ghana. I saw a couple of them the other day. I was shocked. Still on the road. The good old Peugeot cars were assembled in Ghana. Folks, you could write a common entrance in Yendi, get a school in Cape Coast, and just attend. You didn't have to know anybody. All you did was, if you could get the means to board the transport and go, that was it. Folks, very soon, when you say someone is Ghanaian, there will be nothing to show. Food, even language, traditions, even our culture of respecting adults. a culture of shame and protecting one's family name, there will be no uniqueness that they can be identified with. And it is quite a dangerous phenomenon. But we have just left it to chance that when our children grow, they will just know what it is that they have to do. We have left it to chance that when they grow, they will just know what they have to do. Folks, when you come to the Republic of Fidumasa, right, there's a no tree cutting policy. Very strict. And it's even quite difficult to get a chainsaw guy who can even dare come to Dumasa. Friend Crass or Dumasa and no make he won't come because it's just too much trouble. It's not worth it. It is too much trouble. It is not worth it. And there's a strict going to school policy. And so again, it is quite rare to find a child of school-going age who says, I won't go to school. And in fact, there were a couple of girls who got, pregnant while in school. 3 months after giving birth, back to school. I called the mothers. I said, if you are not responsible enough to keep your daughter's legs closed, then now you're going to start babysitting. And then you might have said, I don't care. I don't care. Whatever it is you're doing, you are now going to babysit the baby, and the child will go and finish school. And so they've gone back to school. End of the matter. End of the matter. Yeah, a couple of them came and said, well, I can't say so my books, I didn't come here. I said, no problem. I said, I will pay. You go to school. What I'm getting is that if you come to Dumasa now, it won't take you long for you to see the direction in which the town wants to move. So I'm asking, what is the direction for the next generation in Ghana? As we seem to leave the country in a worse stage than we found it. Every time, it seems to be in a much more worse state than we found it. By the time these governments are leaving, they would acquire most of the houses that they have lived in it for free until the next one comes. They will complain about these guys acquiring those houses, and then they will also acquire theirs and the cars, and then it just becomes just a rhetoric. But the bottom line is, we always leave it in the worst state than we found it. Young boys, folks, young boys, young men, 19, 21, 22, 24. So much into voodooism for money. Now the new craze is betting. And they are betting their lives away. And one of the most addictive drugs, subjects, sports, action, whatever it is that you may call it in this world, is betting. Betting. People steal, kill, rob to bet. And I've said several times that this new craze about betting, we've drank our livers and our kidneys, we've drank it all out. And now we're moving into betting. Young girls obsessed with material things. Too obsessed with material things. Too obsessed. He has iPhone 100. If iPhone 101 comes, they are dying. And you look on the phone, and they've probably added some feature that, predicts some that, this person doesn't even need that feature on the phone, but still, they must have the iPhone 101. Meanwhile, as Spikey would say, you're not even using 3% of the phone you're already holding. But the material obsession, the obsession to now change one's looks, the bleaching. Folks, the things our young ones are desperate for just to fit in is a matter for concern. Now, you know what the interesting part is? Most of them will never miss church. Folks, most of them will never miss church. They are the first to fall when the pastor says, they are the first ones to fall. They will be in the mosque on Friday. Yes. And nearly all of them have been to some form of school. So how is it that we are getting it so wrong? And you know something? The few privileged ones amongst them are also foreigners in their own land. The few privileged ones who aren't drinking and betting and chasing voodoo because Bibia Ufieno, they are also becoming foreigners in their own land. Some don't even any time. What is coconte? What is coconte? Uncle, we don't eat coconte in their own land. How did we get it so wrong? But of course, folks, the generation will not drop from the sky, which means we are leading them or teaching them. We are leading them astray. We are stealing, lying, insulting on air, living on unexplained wealth, living on sudden wealth because we came into political power. And worst of all, attacking anyone who dares to speak truth. And we're doing all this in front of them. All this in the full glare of the generation that is going to take over. So folks, just like you come to Edumasa and feel the sense of the direction, can we begin to have a deliberate plan and a sense of direction for the nation? Or we should just leave it to chance, hope to God that it be. So as we celebrate Ghana Month, maybe the things that make us Ghanaians should be taught to our children. Otherwise, one day on the world stage, they will be known as the lost generation of Ghana. They will be lost as the lost sons of Nkrumah. And they will just be there, waiting for scraps. Literally, there will be a nation waiting for scraps. When somebody harvests some wheat and there's some left, ni abro kakra. Somebody makes vaccines, ni bika ni abro kakra. Somebody does something, ni bika ni abro kakra. And we'll just be living from hand, from leftover to leftover. Folks, I know abundance can be a curse. And we have been blessed with abundance. But I hope that in the midst of all this abundance, we shall wise up, sit back and say, no, let us change our path in history. Folks, we have come to the crossroads. And without a doubt, we have to take the right option. The other day I said, we have enjoyed from 66 to today. We need to stop enjoying and start planting so that those who come after us will reap what we are sowing and change that culture so that they would also be planting for their children to come and reap. But before we go to the phone lines, here's a message from Pepsodent. Indeed, I was a Pepsodent ambassador. I was a Pepsodent ambassador, setting up a routine of brushing properly with fluoride toothpaste day and night works wonders in boosting your oral health. For this great routine to stick, brushing every day with your family, that's the trick. Brushing every day with your family, that's the trick. The princess said, wake up, it's time to brush your teeth. That's why your favorite oral care brand, Pepsodent, has launched the Brush With Me campaign to remind parents of their joyful responsibility in taking care of the oral health of their families by brushing better together. Take action today because good oral hygiene starts with you. Visit the dentist regularly, brush properly day and night, and invite your family to brush with you. That's right. Brushing is better together, and twice a day is the way to go. So invite your family to brush with you. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Jifa.
Nana, my president.
And as for that one vote today, me, I know if I stand for president, at least I get
I
to.
will put
Uh,
my life
you
on
see,
the
no,
line for you to
I,
become a president.
I vote one, you vote. So as for two, if I don't get, I know I'll take the easy
Nana,
to
I
quote.
mean it. I mean it.
Jifa, let me hear you.
See brilliance being displayed. If we have somebody like you as our president, I don't think Ghana will be facing the problems we are facing with now. Nana, I don't want to talk too much. God bless you. I know one day people of your type, people like you, will get some of them who will rise up to redeem Ghana. God bless you.
God bless you too, Jifa, for listening. God bless you too. It's 0302216541. Hello, and Ajima is on the line.
Yes, Nana, good evening.
Good evening,
Trust you're
Ajima.
doing well.
I'm very well, my brother.
I sent my message earlier, but my own party, Abeku didn't add me today.
You see now.
Abeku. And you got me confused at a point in time because when I started my notes, later on I have to change the topic I will talk on. It's as if you tackle about 3 topics in one program. This is where I have a problem with you.
Forgive me.
First one, my question is concerning where you started from. The infrastructure that Kwame Nkrumah left us, how many can we mention that they are existing now? When we take, for instance, shoe factory, where is it? And in case it should be revamped, how many youths will be delighted to go and work there once we have Burton in our system? That's one. Secondly, I don't want to talk too much. And you touched on the food that we eat. And I do know that Kokonte is not being respected that much. But if you look at what Kokonte does, including healing the wounds of a newborn woman and also somebody who has gone through a surgery, that Kokonte can heal the wounds quickly. And Kontomwe, Garden F, Abedru, and other stuff. You know what they do to us? And I have been eating Yohogare from JSS primary school, and now I can tell you for a fact that I don't recall the last time I went to hospital. Now, we have introduced a lot of diet from the Western world, and some sicknesses that we haven't heard for some years, now we are hearing about them. And God bless you for your work that you're doing.
God bless you too, Ajimai. God bless you too. Francis is on the line. Oh, the line dropped. Hello?
Hi, Nana.
Hi, who am I talking? Is that Francis?
No, my name is Nee.
Oh, Nee, let me hear you.
Nana, my problem is that with all these presentations you make, have you documented them? Have you forwarded them to NCC? Have we gotten local government to try and take a look at some of these things and see how we can go ahead and implement them? It saddens my heart. A lot of times it just becomes like talk shop, and we talk and we talk and there's no action. Nana, I want to charge you put all your presentations together and put it at the NCC so that we can hold them responsible and say that Nana gave you this document and you never did anything about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All my shows are scripted, so all the documents are there. I don't know about the NCC, but Madame Josephine Nkrumah is fairly a regular listener. It's recently that I haven't heard from her, but she's fairly a regular listener. So let me see. But Uncle Francis is on the line. Hello, Uncle Francis.
Uncle Francis from Drapo.
Let me hear you, sir.
You always talk friends. You know, we are running ahead of our development. That's the problem. Many years ago, very small routes to farmland, farming areas were tarred, wherever small the land was. I could remember in the early 70s, I was doing my work, the first degree work, and we had to travel to Amate, Amate on the lake, the Desu area. You got to places, and there were small roads, tarred, and you could travel on those small roads to the farmlands. A place like even Akosombo to Anyase, many years ago, even the road was places were tarred. Today, we cannot even see our development in a very strategic way, and we are running ahead of our time, our development. I think that's the problem. We need person like you to awaken people. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you too for listening. Nana, it's sad. My daughter says she's sad to be a Ghanaian, but would rather be in another country because nothing works here. Kweku Danso in Dowenya. 0302216541. Kobe is in the USA. Hello, Kobe.
Hello, Nana. Nana, how are you?
I'm very well, my brother.
Hey, sorry if I raise my voice. I'm outside, so I have to raise my voice.
That's good.
Because of the noise.
Okay.
Nana, today is another masterpiece. And if you were in another country other than Ghana, we would have come to recruit you to be our leader. Because from what I'm seeing, we have failed to build on what our predecessors did. And that's the reason why the standards have been lowered at every point in time as we move on as a people of Ghana. We fail to live up to the standard. And that's the reason why we are losing infrastructure. We are losing a lot. Nana?
Kobe.
Nana?
Yes, Kobe, I'm here.
And what I can say is you went back to how Kwame Nkrumah did his things. And you are now a social worker. And that's what you did for the poor women in your jurisdiction. And you went back to them and said, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And this is what our ministry should be doing. So, Nana, this is what I'm trying to plead with you. In 4 years, can we recruit you to be our leader?
Well, I'm a leader on radio. No, we can all lead from different places. I keep saying you don't necessarily have to be in the Flagstaff House to make change. I mean, I'm making my small change in Edumasa, and I'm making some small change on air. So let's work with that. I don't necessarily have to be in politics, not at all. But Richie is on the line. Hello, Richie.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Chief, God bless you.
God bless you too.
My brother, I've been listening to you since for a long time. You can clear on my own. And usually when I close some work that I keep listening to you. Look, the problem we have in this country is truthfulness and fairness. What are you doing now? Are you saying the truth? You're being fair. Somebody is sitting somewhere who just thinking how they want to shut you from even talking the truth. You get me? These are the problems that we're going through. people are watching instead of coming to support what you're saying and let's work with it. Somebody is sitting somewhere and his interest is this man is talking too much. You have to find a way to let him stop talking. Look, sometimes you go out there, the countryside, and you see, these days when you go to, I'm not saying the villages, but our town, the countryside, young men are going to the farm with their doing others. These days, you go, this my bet. Places that you go, they don't have electricity. You get these small generators of batteries to set up TVs and they're doing this my bet. Old men go look for money and young boys will go and steal the money and go use it for this my bet. And it's getting out of hand. I've got a sibling and I'm trying everything to do to stop this, but it's not working.
It's very addictive.
The authorities are all looking at it. You drive to places, you see the law enforcement agencies will be driving through there, but nobody goes even to stop the people, ask them if they have the requisite license to do that thing. Seriously, it's affecting education. When we went, schools were closed in this country, you go about and see these children playing in such places. Now they don't want to go to school. They don't want to do anything. It's very pathetic now. We wish there's a way we can all join you to broadcast your program to the, or we'll go down to the lay people to listen and say, you change the language into local dialect.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you so much. Idrisu is on the line. Hello, Idrisu.
Yes, my dear.
Good evening.
Good evening, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am just praying for you.
Amen.
We pray that people like you will live longer, to let our children to know that there was a Ghana and there was a people called Ghanaians before. I know what we are now emulating from Western and all nonsense that we are taking now. It is diverting our culture, our behavior, everything is moving. And for sure, if the care is not taken, we will one day try to find out who are we. And that will be the big question that has no answers. And if we get people like you in every region to talk about what you are putting out now, I guarantee that Ghana will come back again to be an old Ghana we know. Thank you so much.
I thank you too.
Thank you so much.
I thank you too. I thank you too. Nana, thanks for the memories. I'm just under 40 and I remember how my dad used to travel on the sleeper train from Sekondi to Dunkwa and Ofing. We had a room with bunker beds in a moving train. We would sleep, wake up and have servers pushing carts to sell snacks, breakfast, just like on the plane. This is just under 3 decades ago. It's sad to say that Ghana has say. Name any aspect of society and I will tell you what is wrong. From morals to our food, to language, to patriotism, to conscience, to dressing, to evil. BBRSA. I always wonder what memories my kids will have about their motherland Ghana. Sad. Maki in Mankesim. But Amponsa is on the line. Hello, Amponsa.
Hello.
Kakabu.
Me who Gold Coast, na me who Ghana. Na me who the 66 ever. Near T and a near 66 ever Yadison, I change you. Senamo, say, or my Nembra 66 by no. China Ghana food means say, I broke the fat to the Tano, who will put a swamp after no. Ghana for the lady be a bro. Best Yamamre, any Yamani, any yesterday, any Biara. And then you see a conference democracy, a bro for the Diaba. Yes, there was democracy be a Sarah. Now, Mrs. do ya to the way. Yet to me, and say, na yankasa yɛ nyɛ yɛ democracy university ntumi nfa wɔn nimdeɛ no ɛnyɛ development bi ama yɛ another version of democracy. Aborɔfo deɛ no meka akyerɛ wɔn no efi president so kɔsi wara so yɛhu saa democracy yɛhu na yɛhu yɛ da so ekosi da bi ase bɛsɛ na yɛasɛ ma yɛ mmɔbɔ ɛnɛ yɛfrɛ no sɛ the survival of the fittest anaasɛ winner takes all hwɛ ɔman asase nyinaa politician kɔ aforo no mekae cantonment deɛ ɛnɛ yɛsi baabi de aviation land wɔ ahyɛlbote area hɔ wɔkya afa enyuma ɛwɔ hɔ a yɛ kwame kuma yɛyɛ ɛnɛ yɛsi de nyinaa yɛ sɛ yɛnto adwuma no a yɛba ma na trɛnwura mu ama na sɛe wofiri nkra wokɔ nsɛwo mu a nsɛwo mkɔ efia no wosane bɔfɔ no a wakɔduru pankoro junction no na pwc yɛ ade kɛseɛ wɔ hɔ wɔn mu afɔ ama wɔn ho ama nɛ yɛ si aborɔsan wɔ so de ayɛ bɛdiɛ baabi a wobɛsɛ biara ɛnɛ politician biara ɛwɔ fie wɔ Trasako village hɔ Trasako biribi ɛwɔ Adzenga no ho wopa akɔhwɛ busa sisɛ mu na wobɛhu ɛnɛ minimasase kɛkyeɛ bi a Kwame Nkrumah ɛyɛɛyɛ ɛwɔ yɛfrɛ no sɛ baabi a na nka dairy cattle wɔ no a yɛde develop milk processing wɔn mu fɛtɛn bi so asase no na yɛ na ɛrɛmmɔbɔ sɛ nnipa binom a wɔn awofoɔ ɛkoma a ɔman yi edi gyina hɔ na ɔman yi ne afahodie no wɔn mma koraa na edi mu bi ɛnna wɔn parliament a average age no aboro so ayɛ post nnipa wɔn ho hwee ɛnna obiara pɛ sɛ ɔyɛ politician owie pɛpɛɛpɛ a na ɔyɛ tikani ɔnkyerɛ saa mu da ne yɛtɔ ebie sama no ɔno nko anam wɔsi yɛ ma no kwan obiara si nipa so obiara hu yɛ wɔ mɛ gye so no owura yɛ de dan
Kakabo medase ampunsa Kakabo medase he saw the Gold Coast, he saw Ghana, he saw the 66 coup, and he's seeing today, and he's saying that this democracy practicing this winner takes all business. He says until God comes, it will never work. We should come together and find a democracy that fits us as a people, because he's seen it all, done it all. Good evening, Nana. God bless you. Thank you for the topic. We pray and we listen and practice from Tampodi in 37. And Nana, I have lost hope in Ghana, but Uncle Ebo says that we are blessed, so I hope things will change. From Ashley in Ashi in Italy. And on the phone. One of Kwame Nkrumah's Black Star Line ship was sailed by Captain Jafat Agla of blessed memory, doing trips from Tema to Amsterdam, Antwerp, New York, etc. in those days. This is from Mr. Agla, former headmaster at Kwamumai Secondary School. Well, to all of you that wish me happy birthday, I say a thank you. To wifey who organized a very impromptu last minute. I gave her 24 hours. I said I wasn't going to do anything. She said, no, it's your 50th. It lands on your day of birth. You have to do something. So I said, okay, let me do something. And oh yeah, she pulled it out. Happy birthday to my brother, KT Dansumisa Razgege from Digicraft. Yesterday was your birthday. Rachel Keteku of ADB. Nana Kwabia Abontindon Hima of Manfi. Yours was on Wednesday. Abeku Sankufi was right after me. Can you believe it? Father and son. And the 17th, Abeku is the 18th. No wonder we get along so well. Good evening to Kwame Jantwa. Says, where's our national development plan? All these projects came from in Chroma. Every day we laugh at Kutu Achampon for not being too lettered, but he gave us a national pledge. He gave us a national pledge, a sense of belonging. He knew that you could not. He gave us courtesy for boys and girls because he knew you just can't leave children to chance. You must direct them. But I just Kutu Achampon, why never can I say mama no? Franklin Kujo says, we shall overcome one day. The legend Agbagba is here to give you the news bulletin. Iggy will be here while we are thinking and hoping and praying that we don't lose the next generation. Then unites gospel music, so we pray for that. Because one day you walk into a consulting room, you're nice and grey, and those days by 21, 18, they will be doctors. Why? Because that's what we've taught them. But folks, Monday we'll be back. And next Monday we have a big topic. We have a very serious topic next Monday. And it is something that I believe we are all missing. So next Monday, you can't miss. That's my opinion. Folks, my name is Nana Ansah Kwao, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwamodu Masa. And I say until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter.